Your marketing is really good. It's like very creative. I was saying before, like, I feel like I knew you just from watching your stuff because it was really funny and actually relatable. Has your focus changed from like when you started doing your coffee business to now? Like, do you have any goals that have been more recent and more at like the forefront of your mind than what it used to be, I don't know, 4 years ago, even 3?
No, the goal has been pretty consistent. I mean, I think the only like main difference now is this past year with the trailer and kind of pushing the catering events and seeing how profitable doing catering stuff could be as opposed to just like vendor fairs or markets. So that's been like an exciting avenue to explore. But at the same time, it could be a little challenging because with a trailer setup, I kind of always have to be driving it or like bringing it to an event. So it's hard to kind of build up the business and try and create systems where like, not that I'm not working, but like create a system where like I could step away and move into another role of the business. So like, I don't want to focus too much on the catering because then I'll always have to be doing catering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
But it is good. It is good for right now because I can use that to kind of keep building the name and get myself out there. And it brings in a good amount of money.
Yeah, it's almost like your side job while you're focusing on this other component of your business.
Yeah. I look at it as kind of like advertising and I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like I know you're saying that you want to like build up your brand more, but I feel like your brand is pretty strong. A lot of people that I've talked to know you and know who you are, like other coffee shop owners or coffee roasters know who you are.
That's cool. I try to be like friendly and just talk to everybody.
How do you see yourself separating your company from other coffee companies? Do you have a main focus or like a couple things that you try to do that separates from the competition?
I don't know. I guess like the answer is kind of yes and no. Whereas like I was saying this in an interview once where I think it's kind of hard to separate yourself as a coffee business because we're all kind of sourcing our coffee from the same places and more or less like roasting coffee with like the same school of thought of like a third wave coffee is all like kind of like roasted the same way and we're all like in the same area. So we're sourcing it from the same places. So it's like everyone's kind of bringing in the same stuff. And then you add in like what's trending online in terms of like drinks, and you see like when like a drink is popular on TikTok or Instagram or something, you see all these cafes start to bring it in, whatever, as their like special drink of the month. So you start to like see those kinds of trends, and it's like, damn, we're all just doing the same thing. For me, it's just about like being as authentically myself as possible and hoping that that resonates with people. And I kind of just pulled out from the music making aspect of my life where I like started writing music and was like, I can't come up with like any deep metaphors or anything like that. So I'm just going to be as like authentically me as possible and hope that resonates with people. And I've carried that over to the business side of things. So that's kind of how I at least try to stand out. Because nobody else is me. When I first started as like a just e-commerce business, on one hand, I'm like, oh man, like this is so grim that the world is just like going towards e-commerce and we buy everything online and like there's no personal connection anymore. So like how do you convey that like this is still just like one guy doing this all by himself and like make this like a human interaction? So I tried to like take that approach and like that's just how I try to run the social media and like make it as like me as possible. I try to be funny. I try to like own up to mistakes or flukes, you know, like I don't know. Just
not to cut you off, but even when you like made the video on like adding this large size into your coffee, I thought that was
yeah.
I thought it was the funniest thing.
Cause I was just like pissed off that like for a while, like everyone's like, oh, why don't you have like another size? Like, is the reason you don't have another size so people buy another drink? And it's just like, no, there's just not that much room on the trailer to like worry about having 4 different cup sizes, then espresso cups and then espresso lids and like, it's like, and then everyone was just saying stuff for so long. So it's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. But yeah, and then in situations like that, I just try to like make a joke of it all where I'm like, yeah, it's stupid that I didn't have large cups, but it's also like, whatever.
Well, yeah, I thought it was just a great way to handle it. I know you said you're in a band. When I was looking at you guys' Instagram, the last post was, I don't know if it was from the springtime or maybe like summer. Was there a reason that you wanted to pursue coffee as a career and not music?
I mean, there's no career to pursue in music for me, at least. And like I play like punk music and there's no money in that or anything. And I've never really like been driven by money to do anything creative. But that was like where I saw, like, I would say I'm a creative person. So it's like, how do I like use creativity to make money? And unfortunately it's a product. You have to become a salesman. So I just thought coffee is a cool way to umbrella that creativity. But I like having different things to do, because if I am just feeling burnt out from coffee, I could play music for like an hour, or like, look forward to playing a show after a long week of work or something like that, or go skateboarding. So those are kind of just like the three main outlets I have.
How do you balance all the other things that you do? At least for me, it was pretty difficult. I'd say like this past few years, I felt like all I wanted to do was just like work and not stop, basically. And that's what I had to do. And then, you obviously get to those points where you feel burnt out and you have to go back to your old hobbies so that you can just like feel some sense of joy. Do you have like a schedule that you like carve out time to do certain things, or is it more just natural?
I recently started writing everything down and just took a page from my brother's notebook. He makes like a daily checklist. So I try to do that and just chop up my week and chop up my month and like see when I have events, when I have this and that. I've learned over time that I need to like make sure I'm doing a little bit of everything every week. And luckily there's been no shortage of work. So it's just like a matter of forcing myself to go to the skate park or play music with a friend. I mean, I've kind of slowed down on music this past year. Yeah, it's just a matter of making sure that you're still making time for yourself and your hobbies while maintaining like a healthy work balance.